We'll start again. Good evening. My name is Tom Crouch. I'm the Vice Chairman of the Board of Zoning Appeals for the City of Lawrence. The first order of business, I need a motion and a second for the approval of the minutes for our last meeting held December 21st, 2021.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thanks, Trace. Is there a second? Okay, Jim?
Actually, Jim wasn't a member. He can't vote on those minutes.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't going to vote, but I was going to second.
Okay,
So
so,
you can second.
okay,
Or,
okay, yeah, I'll second.
thank you.
All in favor, now who can vote?
Just the members who were here. So you and Trace.
Okay,
Faith had.
Yeah, and
And
Faith.
Faith.
Faith was here. She can vote too.
okay. All in favor of the minutes of December 21st, say aye.
Actually, I have to do roll call because we have a virtual. So Trace
Okay.
Yates,
Aye.
Tom Crouch,
Aye.
Faith Alvarez.
She waved.
You're muted. I have to hear you.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's go ahead.
So we approve the minutes?
Yes, sir.
With all the legalities?
Yes,
Good.
sir.
Okay.
Let's move to new
Yeah.
business.
If you have not done so, please sign in to the back of the room to anyone who is wishing to speak tonight. So, and anyone wishing to speak tonight, please stand and raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? The answer is, I do. Thank you. Okay. 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 The first case we're going to hear is 22 LSV 01 6622 Paradise Lane, a variance of development standards to allow the construction of a 20 by 20 attached garage in an SU1 zone. Would the petitioner please step forward and introduce yourself and your address?
Yes, my name is Cindy Thrasher, 1368
You
Ecker,
can pull the microphone. You don't have to jump up and.
it's Greenwood, Indiana 46142. I'm here representing SNC Financial Group and also the person that lives there, Ms. Shoby. So on this, this is just a request for a standard 20 by 20 attached garage you would see in any residential neighborhood. The issue we have with this, since it's zoned SU1, it's for special use, so anything that is done on this property will need to have a variance because it's not zoned for residential, even though it's a residential neighborhood.
Was it SU1 because it used to be a church site or something?
I'm not sure why, but I know they said it'd been a SU1 for a long time.
Even when the house was built? They got a variance to build a house?
Well, probably way back then, before the zoning change, they probably, because the house was built in the 30s, so they probably didn't have any zoning back then that would, be anywhere similar to today. Yeah, so.
Does any of the commission members have a question?
I don't.
I just, I'm curious, Mr. Crouch, you're the representative or an agent?
Yes,
Okay, so you're with the financial,
I'm working with the owner that lives there.
okay, so you're providing, you're
they-
financing this?
I'm just helping Miss Shoby with the variance. She's purchased the property, but it's all not finalized, so I have to represent technically the financial group that has the deed still.
Okay,
But Ms. Shoby is the one that actually had me come in to represent for the variance.
and did you all post notices and?
Yes.
That kind of thing?
Yes, post notices and sent out to all the neighbors.
Great, it looks great.
Yeah, it seems
you.
like it's going to be a nice addition. I was told that the carport that it used to be there was in really bad shape, so this should be a nice addition to the residence.
And when, Tom, is there any time limit, or Mr. Crowd?
Roughly 10 minutes. We're okay.
Is
It's okay to ask questions.
there a time limit to complete it, or is it just kind of?
Once they pull permits, the first step is getting the variance approved. And then they will have to submit plans for review to make sure that they meet building code. And then once the permit is issued, they have 2 years
Okay,
to complete the construction, as long as they have an inspection every 180 days.
super, thanks.
Okay.
Thanks. Thank you.
Any other questions?
I don't.
Thank you. Are there any remonstrators or supporters of the petition? Please state your name and address.
Hello, BZA members. My name's Maria Rosmaroff, 11754 Sinclair Drive, Lawrence 46235. I'm here in reference to 22 LSV-01 Paradise Lane. And the reason I'm here is in support of this petition. I think it's going to be a good addition, but I'm more importantly here because this vicinity, which is in my district as a councilperson for the city of Lawrence, and there are several homes that are in this vicinity zoned SU1, although they're single-family residential units. So as they've spoken earlier, what that means is every time they do anything on that property, they have to come in and get a hearing, pay money, and go through all of this. I would like to know if there's any possibility for us to review or think through or just consider the idea of possibly rezoning that area, those homes that are currently there, to whatever's appropriate, such as a D5 or whatever makes sense, so that we can take that burden off of my constituents. I've talked to the city of Indianapolis folks, and they've done this in the past, and you can do it without a lot of notice. You know, you do still have to do some notice, but it's a more limited, it's kind of a wavered sort of situation. But as a city, if we wanted to consider that, which I would like to know if maybe the administration or the city or the BZ or whatever function it would require, maybe we should consider doing that in this particular case, because I think there's about 10 homes or so, and it sort of seems a little unfair.
So Maria, to answer your question, that would take a rezoning, and that would go before the council, not the Board of Zoning Appeals. And I know that hopefully legislature passes to where Lawrence gets control over the comprehensive plan. And I know that the council's already working on putting a planning committee together. So that is in the works. These type of areas are the ones we're going to look at first.
Okay,
And
great.
recommending to the council to rezone. And we've already talked about that internally. So yes, that is part of our intentions when we get full control over our destiny.
Great, thank you. That was my only comment.
Okay, Maria, do you have any idea why it's SU?
Well, most likely because the property on the front of it, and Ms. Raffla would know more about this, is a church.
Okay,
And I'm
so that-
sure
yeah.
they,
And they
At
used
one
to have
time-
more land,
yes.
yeah.
At one time,
Okay,
they
then.
owned all of it and houses were built and
the homes were built in 30s, and of course, with Unigov, the zoning was laid down in 69, so,
yeah.
yep,
It makes sense, thank you.
thank you.
Yes,
My name is Jeff Herbert, and my address is 1433 Earlham Avenue, Newcastle, Indiana. The reason I'm here on Paradise property is I own 6618 and I own 6616 Paradise Lane, which are adjoining properties to this property. I don't have an argument with the build on this, but I do appreciate her mentioning that because I had no idea either. I thought it was residential myself. I've owned the property since '95. I bought it off of a lady who, I think her father was the original person who had the church there. And those houses were like for ministries to come in and have a place to stay. And then they started selling them off individually. The house that we're talking about, 6622, used to be a pump house for the church. And now it's been turned into a residential. In fact, the lady who I bought it from, her mother was living there at the time, and they were living in the log cabin in front of it, which I own that property also. So, but yeah, and I got the notice, but I didn't get any kind of exhibit or anything like that, and I would appreciate it if I could get the sketch and the plans to show what's being done there.
I can make sure, if you want to wait till after the meeting, I can give you my contact information.
Okay,
Shoot me an email and I can send you the file,
Sure, thank you.
okay?
And thank you for the information. We're learning more about Oakland history.
At one time, I believe the church that's there, now I think it's called Seven Stones, it used to be a grocery store, and it also used to be a car dealer, so.
And then a church, oh, yeah,
Well, it was a church, yeah, back to a church again, yeah.
yeah.
Interesting.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak? The petitioner, would you like to say anything else? Oh, one, we have to hear from the city of Lawrence, and then we'll call on you.
So I did a little bit of research on this property and discovered that it was built back in the 30s. And there was a question about some encroachment. Part of the house is encroaching onto the neighbor's property. So I went back and I looked at some aerial photos. Indy's website, you can go back to the early 1900s, but the pictures aren't really good. The most clear picture I could get was from 1956, and it shows the house encroaching onto the neighbor's property. And as Maria had said earlier, that was prior to zoning regulations that went into effect in the late 60s. So they call that a legally non-conforming, and it's allowed. So anybody who is questioning that encroachment onto the neighbor's property is legally non-conforming. We didn't find anything in the zoning ordinance other than it being zoned an SU1 that would prevent this garage from being built if it were in a normally zoned residential neighborhood. So the city is in support of this petition being approved.
Thank you, Renee.
You're welcome.
Now to the proper orders. The petitioner, would you like to say anything else?
No, not unless other questions.
Can I say something real quick?
Sure.
You mentioned the encroachment. There was an encroachment on there. It was a shed, a storage shed, and that shed has been removed.
Okay, good.
Also, when I bought the properties, bought those two properties that I mentioned that are adjoining to hers, and they were all three on the same deed, and they split it out and did a survey at that point in time. So I don't know if you saw that or not, but I've got the surveys here,
Okay. Thank you.
just so you know.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. The petitioner, would you like to try again to make your closing arguments?
I don't have anything to add unless anyone has any other questions, but like I said, it'll just be what you see in every day attached to everybody else's residence.
Well, thanks for bringing the petition. We're learning more about Oakland.
Yeah.
So now we're ready for the vote.
Okay, I'm going to do a roll call vote.
Okay, so do we use the ballots also?
No, we don't need to use ballots because I'll
Okay.
have roll call. We're voting on 22 LSV 01, 6622 Paradise Lane, a variance of development standards to allow the construction of a 20 by 20 attached garage in an SU1 zone. Tom Crouch,
I vote yes to grant it.
Faith Alvarez,
I also vote yes.
Trace Yates,
Yes.
James JD.
I vote yes.
Okay. And because Becky's not here yet, Shell, if you'd like to vote.
I vote yes.
Thank you. We are unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
We will now hear is this the right case? Okay. Good. We'll hear 22 LSV 03 9721 Harrison Ridge Drive, a variance of development standards of 744-906-1F to allow a new monument sign within the required setback. Would you introduce yourself and state your name?
Certainly. Evening. I'm Steve Donham. I'm with the law firm Thrasher, Bushman, and Vocal, and our offices are at 8440 Woodfield Crossing Boulevard, Suite 310, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46240. And I'm here on behalf of the Harrison Ridge Neighborhood Association, the petitioner in this case. I originally did a PowerPoint, and I wasn't sure logistically how that might go with some folks here present and on Zoom. I did print out the slides, and I'd like to make those part of the record today if I could. I've got several packets here. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
We're here about a variance of development standards related to a neighborhood entrance sign. There are two signs that are on either side of Harrison Ridge Drive, just off of 63rd Street. Sign on the western portion of Harrison Ridge Drive is going to be eliminated. What we're trying to do is just upgrade or update the eastern side sign, and the new modernized sign would be installed in the same location as the existing sign. The problem is, when we went back and looked through this, we couldn't tell that the original current sign, which has been in place since roughly 1999 per the aerial photos, was ever approved to be within the setback from the right-of-way. And so when we went through the permitting process, it was determined that we did need a variance of development standards in order to basically install the new sign in the exact same location as the existing sign. So that's all we're trying to do, is just install in the exact same location, and we are needing a variance to do that. Going through the slides, I've included some photos of where the current sign is. There's no site obstruction or anything like that as you approach the sign going west on 63rd Street. That's starting at page 8 of your packet. 8, 9, 10 is as you get closer, you start to see the sign as you approach from the road. The reason why we cannot locate the sign any further back outside of the setback is because we'd have to remove trees, and there's an existing berm that would make it difficult to do, and we'd have to rip out trees, which we'd prefer not to do. The easement is located on a lot in the community, and that lot owner certainly wants to maintain those trees to kind of have that buffer between the sign and their backyard. And they have provided a letter in support of our petition that's included in your packet of materials. And so clearly they're in support of this. My review of the staff report is that we received a favorable recommendation, and we haven't received any negative feedback in response to our petition. So just asking for approval of a petition for variance of development standards. Happy to take any questions.
Sure. So currently two signs,
Correct.
both on the east and west side.
Correct.
West is going away, going down to one side on the east side only,
Correct. Mm-hmm.
and ideally in the same location that the current sign is now.
Yes, it's nearly the exact same location. If you look at page, I think it's towards the back. I'm sorry, I don't have it memorized here. Page 16 of your packet, it's been bait stamped. You'll see kind of in the bottom of the right-hand side lot 60. You'll see where it says existing sign to be removed, and you can kind of see that aerial, and then you can see where the proposed sign is going to be. So roughly the same location, not exactly on top of it, a little bit angled, but roughly the same area. Hope that answers your question.
It does.
Will there be any lights?
I've got the property manager with me. He's kind of got some more of the specifications on that. Mark, could you come up and maybe speak into the microphone? This is Mark Shane with Gemini Management. He manages, their company manages the HOA.
Yes, sir. There currently are lights on both signs.
Like little
Yeah,
floodlights,
it's just
lighting them up?
Simple
Ground lighting.
floodlight, that's all.
It won't be an internal light. It'll again be a similar or the same lights flashing on the new sign?
Correct. They're on a photo cell, and there's a flower bed in front of it.
Oh, so basically that won't change either.
No.
No more lumens and all that. Thank you.
So
Any
just,
oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. So just to be clear, that if the new sign sits in the location that the current sign is, there's no need to take trees down. There's no need to regrade the berm. However, if that shifts, then those two things are in play. Is that correct?
First part is correct. When you said if that shifts, I just want to make sure I'm understanding your question.
If the sign location would need to move with the 5 feet consideration.
Right, if we had to move it
then that would-
back outside of the right-of-way, we'd
Outside
have
of
to
the
start ripping out trees and regrade the berm and everything like that. Correct, yes.
And the property owner would not be happy.
I don't think they would be in support of that.
Yeah. And that's lot 60?
Correct.
Yeah.
And I think moving it would impact the electric stuff too, right? Isn't it behind that sign? Yes.
If there's no more questions, we'll see if there's any remonstrators. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Are there any remonstrators for or against this petition? Okay. Were you sworn in? No. I'd like you to go to the back room and sign in, and then we'll swear you in when you come up here.
There's a sign-in sheet on that table back there.
So, do the notices in the paper and all that, but is that usually part of the packet or?
No.
Okay. You just make sure that's done. Okay. Thanks. I knew you were on. Chairman Crouch,
Yes?
I will say the current sign is kind of falling down, so it's nice to see you guys sprucing it up a little bit.
After everybody signs in, I'll ask you to come up front and we'll swear you in. And then you can tell us your name and your views. Okay, if you're going to testify, would you raise your right hand? And do you swear and affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Answer with I do.
I do.
So the first one of you who would like to testify, come forward, identify yourself and your address, and state your views.
Good evening. My name is Quinn Coleman. I'm at 9721 Harrison Ridge Drive, also known as Lot 60. We are looking to upgrade the sign, so I am for the amendment to get it placed in the location where it's at now. If we were to move it back 5 feet, we would definitely have to remove 3 healthy trees, which also would create a huge gap on the line where the entry would be. And we would also have to move the electrical box that's there as well. So I am for placing the new sign where the old sign was, if that's possible.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Are there any questions?
No, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else want to testify?
Hi,
Hi.
I'm David Anderson, 9731 Harrison Ridge Drive, probably lot 61, immediately east of Quinn. Just wanted to say we've been working on trying to replace these signs, upgrade these signs, frankly, for a long time, probably 10, 12, 10 years, 8 years, okay, long time. A lot of hoops, a lot of problems, but ultimately the signs that are there are much less substantially constructed. Please don't lean on them. If you want to go look at them, look from a distance, don't touch them, they'll fall over on you. So we're putting in a sign that's much prettier, much more substantial, stone, right? Stone and brick. And it'll last forever. And looking forward to seeing it happen. We've been trying for a long time. I think, again, the electrical box is a problem if we have to move it. The overall aesthetic of the trees, they're mature trees right there. Losing those trees would be horrible, not just for Quinn, but for all of us, because it really looks nice out there. So we really hope that you guys can approve putting the sign back where it is. It's not really interfering other than the fact that it's on the easement, right? It's the same spot it's been for quite a while. That's what we want to see happen, is put it back the same place.
Okay, any other questions?
The electrical box, is that the power source for the lighting for the signs?
Yes.
Any other, does it feed any other power other than that?
No, it goes across under the driveway to the irrigation on the other side.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you very much. Any more testimony?
Hello, I'm Daniel Mayorga. I am 6418 Harrison Ridge, and I am the president of the HOA. And
Woohoo!
I felt like I have to come up and talk, and I am for this as well. When I started the board and I became the president, I understood that they've been trying to work on these signs for over 15 years, and this was one of my go-to things to try to do for our community and our residents, just to get those signs updated. And I think it's about time that we do that, and we're just looking forward to this. We're so close of getting these signs updated. We have the funds to do it. It's really expensive sign, and now that we have the funds, we're able to go finish the job, and so we're just hoping that we can get this approved.
And when you say you're the president, you're also speaking for the HOA itself.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Any questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any more testimony?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jennifer Lehman. I'm at 9735 Trevia Lane, Trevia Drive, which is also in Harrison Ridge neighborhood. I'm also on the neighborhood association board, and we've been trying to work on this for a while, so also in support of it. We've talked to a lot of our neighbors at a lot of different neighborhood events that we have, and they all are very much supportive of this, trying to keep our neighborhood looking just as good as, the new signs that we have at all the parks in Lawrence and the new crosswalks and all of the upgrades that they've made in Lawrence around us. We want to keep our neighborhood looking just as good as all of those signs as well.
We want the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those property values up for everyone.
Yeah, for everyone. That's a key word.
Yes, absolutely. So,
Any more questions? Thank you. Have we heard all the testimony?
Can't say anything. They did it all.
No, okay. Well, thank you all very much. Very seldom do we have 5 people coming up to support. That is very, very good. Does the city of Lawrence have a position?
We are in support of this petition.
Oh.
It moves if you saw on the pictures that he had sent and also in my staff report, the sign slightly encroaches onto the right-of-way. It will actually take it out of the right-of-way, just put it on the line, which makes me happy. So we're in support.
Okay, good. Now, Petitioner, do you have any closing thoughts?
Nothing further to add. Just thank you all for your time. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
And we'll do a roll call vote
Okay.
on petition 22 LSV 03-9721 Harrison Ridge Drive, variance of development standards of 744-9061F to allow a new monument sign within the required setback. Tom Crouch,
Yes.
Faith Alvarez,
Yes.
Trace Yates,
Yes.
JD Mazur,
Yes.
Shell,
Yes.
and Chris.
Yes, if you need
Yes,
to vote.
okay.
Yes.
Yes. All right, so we're unanimous.
Congratulations. Your petition has been approved, and we look forward to your new sign. Thank you. Thank you all I really appreciate coming out to support this. It really does help us up here to see the communities behind it and the HOAs behind it. So thank you all very much. Now we have one more order of business that was early on the agenda.
Becky's on her way.
We need to, Becky's on her way?
Yes, she'll be here any second. She just texted me, so.
Okay, well, we'll wait for her to arrive. We're going to vote on chairman and vice chairman. Becky Lytle has been our chairman.
Well done, everyone.
Have a great night,
8
everyone.
years? How long?
Oh, gosh, Tom, I
Well,
couldn't
maybe
tell you.
longer.
It's been,
Boy, it may embarrass her.
she probably knows.
Yeah.
Oh, she can't get in. Let me go. Actually, they're going to walk out.
Tom, you both have been
I'll let her in.
on
Renee.
for a long time, right?
Yeah, but she's been the chairman.
Okay.
I got her.
Okay.
You're not going to challenge this? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely not. Really, it's a tough job
Is it?
when the room is filled with angry people. She just has a nice demeanor.
That's important. That's important.
My reaction would be to jump the railing and go get her. Which isn't good. I mean, it's just,
That's not an Irish name. Crouch isn't an Irish name.
I'm going to turn the meeting over. Oh, no. You're our chairman.
No, you can continue. Hi, how are you?
Jenny was our.
Rebecca Lytle.
You've been doing it so many years.
Hi, how are you?
How are you?
Fine.
We're still on air.
And you're just in time. I have a motion.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I make a motion that I recommend Becky Lytle as our new chairman, or our chairman.
Thank you, Tom. Any other nominations?
I would second Tom's motion.
Okay, then we just take a vote, correct?
Okay, so we'll close the nominations and take a roll call vote. Tom Crouch,
Hear ye.
Faith Alvarez. Faith?
Yes.
Grace?
Yes.
JD Mazur,
Yes.
Shell,
Yes.
Chris? Yes. And Becky.
Yes.
Okay.
I vote for myself.
So Becky is our chairman, and now we'll open nominations for the co-chairman. Do we have any nominations for co-chair?
I nominate Tom Crouch.
Can we get a second for Tom?
I'll second that.
Do we have any other nominations for co-chair? Hearing none, we'll close the nominations and go to a roll call vote for Tom Crouch to be the co-chair. Becky Lytle,
Yes.
Faith Alvarez,
Yes.
Trace Yates,
Yes.
JD Mazur,
Yes.
Shelley Carey,
Yes.
Chris Downs,
Yes.
and Tom Crouch.
Why not?
All right, Tom is our co-chair, and we have no other business. If we can get a motion to adjourn?
Do we have a meeting next month?
Yes, we do.
Okay, how many?
Just one.
Oh, good. Okay.
I'll move we adjourn.
Second.
Anyone in opposition to adjournment?
No.
I'd like to
we are
welcome the 3 new faces, I think, right?
Yeah.